As a property consultant with 15 years of experience in KLCC market, one of the very frequent questions I always get from my overseas client will be, "Hey Cindy, how does the payment schedule actually work for under construction properties or even secondary unit in Malaysia?" Today, I'm going to break it down for you so you will be always ahead of the process. In Malaysia, the payment system is very structured and regulated under something called the Housing Development Act or HDA. By the end of this video, you will know how much you need to pay at each stage, when the bank usually disperses to the developer if you are taking a loan, how bank interest works, what if you are a cash buyer, how does that work, what if you are buying a secondary or resale unit, and also what protections are in place in case of project delay or worse, case abandoned. Let's start with primary market, new launch or under construction properties. First thing first, when you identify a property you want, normally you will need to pay a booking fee around 1,000 to 50,000. It will be vary for each different projects. After that, you will sign the sales purchase agreement, so-called SPA. At this stage, you will need to pay 10% of the purchase price. And the good news is that some developers allow their discount or rebates to deduct from the 10%. This is the very first stage of the official payment schedule under the HDA. Then, followed by progressive payment concept for the loan buyer. In Malaysia, for under construction strata projects, either be apartments or condos, payments are stage by stage. Unlike some countries where you pay everything upfront, the developer can only collect money when that specific stage is completed, and it must be certified by the project's architect or engineer. This spreads your cash flow and gives transparency. It will protect you because your money follows the progress of the building. For landed homes, they use Schedule G. Today, we will only focus on Schedule H. Now, let's talk about how bank loan and interest works. If you are taking a bank loan as an overseas investor, the bank will release the money directly to the developer following the schedule. But here's something very important. Once the bank disperses, you need to start paying interest on the release portion. For example, let's say your unit is 1 million and the bank disperses 10%, which is 100,000, to the developer. Assuming your loan interest rate is 4%, your monthly interest for this stage will be as following. 100,000 multiplied 4% divided into 12 months equals to 333 per month. As construction continues, more will be dispersed, so your interest gradually increase until the project is completed. After the completion and full disbursement, you will then need to start paying your full monthly installment to the bank. Here's some of the tips to investors. The higher level unit you choose, the lesser your bank interest will be during the construction. Then, we have cash buyer scenario. Now, some of you may ask me, "Cindy, what if I don't take a loan and I'm a cash buyer?" Well, the same progressive schedule still applies. Instead of the bank paying the developer, you will be paying each stage directly to the developer when it's due. What is the advantage then? Of course, you get to save on bank interest, but the downside is you need to prepare enough cash flow to follow the construction timeline. If you pay later than the due date, usually there will be a late interest charge of 10% per annum on the overdue amount. Let me show you the actual Schedule H progressive payment table summary under the HDA. This is the standard one for condos, service apartment, and other stratas properties. Number 1, upon signing SPA, 10%. Number 2, foundation completion, 10%. Number 3, structural framework of the said level, 15%. Number 4, walls plus door and window frame, 10%. Number 5, roof or ceiling, wiring and plumbing, 10%. 6, internal and external finishes. 7, 8, and 9, we have sewage work, drains, and roads with a total of 10%. 10, vacant possession with water and electricity ready, 17.5%. 11, title and transfer delivered, 2.5%. Lastly, retention sum held by the stakeholder lawyer, which is 5%. That add up to 100%. Every single stage is very clear and neither the developer nor the bank can jump ahead. How about secondary or resale market? Now, let's talk about a different case. What if you buy a secondary unit or a resale property that is already completed? In this situation, there's no progressive schedule anymore because of the property it's already built. If you buy with cash, you normally pay 10% upon the signing SPA and the remaining 90% within 3 months plus 1 month of grace period with interest. If you buy with bank loan assuming of 60%, you still pay the 10% first, 30% balance cash within 3 months plus 1 month extension allowed with late payment interest charge of 8% per annum on a daily rest. Then, finally 60% bank loan disbursed also within 3 months, coordinated by the lawyer and the bank. Once the full payment received, seller's lawyer released the key and title transfer is initiated. After that, you just start paying your monthly installment directly to the bank. As compared to under construction properties, the resale market is much more straightforward and faster to complete. Now, a very common concern I get from overseas investors is this: what if the developer abandons the project halfway? Will I lose my money? Very good question. The good news is Malaysia Housing Development Act, so-called HDA, is designed to protect you. Firstly, developer must be licensed and approved by the Ministry of Housing. Secondly, your money is tied to actual construction progress. They can't simply take everything and run away. Thirdly, every SPA comes with a housing development account where collected funds from bank disbursement or the cash paid by buyer are monitored by the ministry. This reduces the risk of funds being misused. Lastly, you are also protected by liquidated ascertained damages, so-called LAD, if the developer delays completion beyond the agreed timeline of 48 months in Malaysia. LAD is basically a compensation payable to the homeowner. How this works? It is typically calculated at a rate of 10% per annum of the property's purchase price and is applied daily. Of course, like anywhere in the world, nothing is 100% risk-free. But as long as you buy from a reputable developer and check that is a licensed HDA project, the chances of abandonment are very low. Here's a practical tips for overseas investors. Always buy from reputable developers with a delivery history. So that's how the property payment schedule works in Malaysia for overseas investors. To summarize what I've covered today, you start with a 10% down payment. Then, follow the official HDA progressive payment stages. The bank disperses stage by stage and you pay progressive interest until the property complete. If you are a cash buyer, you follow the same stages but you pay directly to the developer. If you are buying a resale unit, it's a simple 10% plus 90% formula settlement, either by cash or bank loan. And yes, there are laws to protect you in case of delay or problems. If you are planning to invest in Malaysia, understanding this payment structure will give you much more confidence. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss my next video. And if you would like to have a customized advice for your own investment plan, you can always reach me directly on WhatsApp. I've already left the link in the description below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!